Welcome to our little interesting Jeff Ed session where we are going to be talking shoes. What shoes to have, when to have them, what type of shoes, and then just something really, really special at the end that Adidas is going to be doing with us. Obviously, Adidas, incredible brand. I personally been with them for a number of years. Um, and just like the experience of wearing an Adidas running shoe or cross training shoe has just been remarkable for me. And I think a lot of people have come up with the questions of what you know what shoe should I be wearing. It's a difficult question to ask. I mean, like, what should I have? What should I be wearing during a Jeff session? What should I be doing running with, etc. So we got Jeff from Adidas who's going to be joining us and answering all our questions, which is going to be absolutely incredible. I'm looking forward to it. Let's bring him in and let's have an awesome conversation and let's get educated with Jeff. Jeff from Adidas, welcome to the show. Thanks so much for having us, you little legend. It's good to have you with us, and we have probably got a ton of questions we need to ask you, etc. Thanks for coming on the show.
Cool, thanks, Jono. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's we've obviously, I know you guys have been with us in partnership since like in the beginning, and we've got a close affiliation, etc. And I just think this education segment is going to be quite interesting for a lot of people, and you can already see there's almost close to 100 people alive already, so it's just going to keep on growing. So I think we're just going to ask a few questions, and then we'll open up and answer some questions as we go along. And we've got a really interesting concept that you guys are going to launch out with us today. But I think, Jeff, tell us a bit about yourself, what you do for Adidas, etc., and then we'll take it from there.
Great. So I'm in marketing. I manage our team of brand coaches, where we kind of give this premium experience for consumers and make sure that we do sell out of our products in stores, and how do we engage and support various stores as well as the consumer, so that you guys feel like you've got a world-class experience.
Yeah, 100%. Awesome. And you've got an incredible team with you guys and what you're doing. And we've been incredibly well supported by you. So we're massive advocates of the brand. I just think let's start off with a very basic question, which comes across all the time from everyone who's been following and part of our community of close to almost 50,000 people here. What type of shoe should we be wearing in a Jeff Together class? Is it a running shoe? Is it a cross-training shoe? What should we be wearing?
It's a good question, Jeff. Jono. So, Jono, how I want to start that actually is by seeing how people generally start looking for shoes. And I think we'll tend to go online and we start looking at different colors and things that we love. And I saw recently the Ultra Boost across the world as well as in South Africa. It was the most popular shoe. And it's great, but it's a running shoe. So are people potentially using that for training and for everything? And I want to first maybe ask you, well, what shoes do you wear, Jono?
Well, I used to wear my Ultra Boost. I used to wear my running Ultra Boost all the time, and then I've also got a cross training boost now as well. So I tend to use my cross training when I do my Jeff Together sessions. But when I run, obviously I'm outdoors. I'm in my Ultra Boost, which is like running on marshmallows. It's just the most incredible experience. I feel like Usain Bolt, and I'm just running like a madman. It's just like ridiculous. But I tend to, in that sort of session, like to work in a cross training shoe, and I've trained myself to do it. But could we run in a running shoe? Could we be doing a Jeff session in a running shoe too?
Well, I wouldn't suggest, and there's reasons for that. Ideally, you do have a running shoe, you have a training shoe, and you have a trail shoe. Not everyone can do that. I mean, we know it gets quite pricey. So maybe you give me your kind of top 5 exercises on HIIT, and I'll explain why that wouldn't be appropriate for certain shoes and why it would be suited to others. So you go for it, Jeff. Jono, tell me your top 5 exercises in your HIIT class.
Okay, probably number one, the worst one of them all would be the burpee.
Cool. Okay, keep going. I actually want just 5 up front.
Okay, cool. So we got a burpee, we got running on the spot, we've got mountain climbers, we have got lunges, and we have got squat jumps.
Great. Perfect. And if I remember correctly, when I did one of your classes, I actually beat one of our cushions to pulp at home as well. So there's and a bit of lateral movements, so you really throw it all in the mix. And the last time I went for a run, I don't remember doing any of that stuff. And I can tell you that my shoes may not have handled it either. And the reason for that is when a shoe is designed, it's got that intended use in mind. So think about that training. You're doing lateral movements. You're running, you're skipping, you're jumping. The shoes need to be reinforced. So you'll often have overlays on the shoes for more support on top, on the upper, for more integrity and longevity, as well as people go to the gym, maybe they're strapping on into the rower or into the bike. Those constant wear on the upper, they need those overlays. And then the shoes, if you look underneath the shoes on the training shoes, they're flatter. There's more surface area, so you get more grip and more support. So there's lateral movements. You're not going to roll the ankle because you're not sitting as high off the ground. You're often lower to the ground, more stable. So they're designed for those that intent. And so I would say a shoe like the Fit Boost, lovely shoe. If you're doing a HIIT class, the Fit Bounce, the Pure Boost Trainer. I mean, I'm just rattling off names. You can go and check on the training category on Adidas. If you're also a Reebok fan, is the Nano, lovely shoe. So there's various shoes, and you can look across all brands, but make sure that you ask the right questions first. I think that's important. And hey, maybe you can't get a shoe just for training. So then ask yourself, what do I do most often? Am I a runner who does some Jeff HIIT classes so that when summer comes, I'm feeling a little bit confident? Or am I more of a gymmer, kind of a Jeff hitter who goes for the odd Jeff run or the odd just general communal run? In which case, then maybe get something that you can do more of the HIIT work, but still has enough cushioning and support for the longer runs. But if you are mostly running, if that's what you do and you occasionally do a session, you may get away with a running shoe. However, the longevity might not be as good on the shoe, and your support and stability on the lateral movements won't be as good. And our concern is that somebody goes and rolls an ankle or ends up damaging a shoe and then gets upset with the brand. But obviously, our intended use, we had designed it for either running or training.
Yeah, 100%. And that's why, I tend to use a cross-training based shoe when I do that, because I'm quite a heavy bloke. I'm about 95. Actually, I'm light. Sure. I'm 92 kilos, not lightest I've ever been. But I'm still heavy. I've got a heavy bone density, heavy muscle density. So for me to do lateral movements and move around, like in a running shoes, it's not a good idea to support my joints, my ankle joints, etc., like that. I think you answered a really important question there, because people would tend to go, well, listen, I can't afford to get 3 different kinds of shoes. So I think you answered that really well. It's basically pick the exercise that you do majority of it, and find that base of that shoe, which you're going to stick to for probably 70% of the time, and then go with that option.
Yeah, I would agree. The difficulty comes with trail. I mean, if you're a mountain goat, you're going to need the grip up in the trails. And then to get a trail shoe in the gym, they often have quite big lugs. So you might want something with smaller lugs if you're doing trail, and realize they're going to wear down quite quickly if you are using them for the road or in the gym as well.
100%. Another common question that has come up through the community quite a bit is am I going to sort of predispose myself to injury, chopping and changing from shoe to shoe all the time? Is that a problem or not?
That's a great question, Jono. It would depend, and you'll probably see in most of your questions, I do say it depends, and just because there are often so many variables. But when you're running, if you are the kind of person who can pick up a niggle potentially quite easily, then changing a lot, it could fire other muscles that aren't used to it. So you might have some imbalances, and all of a sudden muscles are used that they weren't before, because you've gone from quite a firm shoe to a really soft shoe. And so your stabilizers have activated a bit more because they're feeling a little bit more cushion. So, and they need a fire to stabilize your foot, and that can cause an overuse. But if we will touch on running shoes in a second, because it's a lot more involved. But you'll see that there's way more to it than just the shoe, and we often focus on the shoe, and because it's become this empire of running shoes. But there's so much more to it. So chopping and changing, I for one am used to it. I try a whole lot of shoes. I don't have a problem with that. And a lot of your elite runners will go through so many shoes, and one for training, one for racing. So the more you run, you'll find you start to realize how you respond to changing shoes. But it's more if it's a complete different feel. So one's very flexible, one's very stiff. That's where I would say be careful. If it's a similar style, similar pattern in the transition of the shoe, so if it's still flexible with cushion, similar like for like, it should be fine. Yeah.
Yeah, I've like in my past, coming from like sports conditioning front with rugby, putting on boots the whole time and putting on shoes the whole time, I haven't had a problem. And I think, like doing sort of sessions like we're doing at Jeff, you shouldn't have a problem mixing and matching too much. You know what I mean? If anything, it'd probably strengthen you up more than anything.
Yeah.
Important question. How should I feel in my shoe? I know it's a common thing. It's the funniest thing. Whenever I go and see people trying on shoes, you see them prodding in the back, on the front, at the back, on the side. Where's the width from? What are the guidelines we should be having when having a shoe? Is the half size and the width?
Sure.
Where do we start?
Sure. No, I'm glad you asked that. So firstly, just on that last point, the half size. A half size actually goes up in the size of a shoe, whether you're going from a 9 to 9.5 or 9.5 to a 10. The half doesn't just mean width. The whole shoe actually does get slightly bigger from length to width, whether you go from 9.5 to a 10, as said, into a full size. So I've spoken to thousands of runners, and everyone is different. Some prefer a full thumb in the front. I like a flattened thumb, so I must be able to have my toe relax and push down the thumb space. Some people a finger, and others actually just literally millimeters from the front. So you'll start, the more you try and use shoes, the more you'll realize what you like. But in the selection process, you also said, how should it feel on your foot? Now, things have changed on the research front. We work quite closely with Ross Tucker, and he updates us a lot with where the research is at. And it's really interesting. In the past, if you think about it, you would often find someone go, oh, these shoes just don't feel good. And someone goes, yeah, but it's the right shoe for you. It's what you need with your running style. So I want to ask you, Jono, when you hear somebody going, but I need the right shoe, what do you think are the factors that contribute to wanting that right shoe? What is the risk of having the wrong shoe, for example?
Yeah, it's such a good question, because I've always been that person who puts on a shoe and feels it and just goes, oh, not for me. And I'm a creature of habit, when it comes to, with my boost, don't give me anything else. You know what I mean? Give me my Ultra Boost. I know exactly how it feels. Even though through the years the shoe has changed, it sort of has that same feeling. You know what I mean? It's just, for me, it's that feeling of how I personally feel it and the comfort level. I'm not too sure if that's right or that's wrong. Is it the right approach to have?
The amazing thing is that is actually one of the most recent research, or across time, the best research I found now is actually find a shoe that's most comfortable for you. And people are going to say, what? But I'm a pronator. And pronation itself is quite grey. You don't wake up one day and someone presents you with a blue or red pill, and you choose the blue pill, and it turns out you're a pronator for life. That's just it. I'm a pronator. I chose that pill. That's not it at all. Pronation, everybody pronates slightly. So pronation, just for clarity, rolling in as you run, your foot rolls in. Think of that as your fingerprint of running, because everybody is slightly different. Everybody needs to roll in slightly, because that is your shock absorption. Now, in the past, we would say if you roll in, over certain degrees, you have to have an anti-pronation shoe. And a lot of findings is actually what you said, is that if it feels good and it feels comfortable and it feels like it supports you when you run, then that in the end has a better chance of preventing injury than just forcing yourself into a shoe that doesn't feel great just because somebody said that you pronate.
Yeah,
so
100%.
It's been quite interesting that kind of shift, unless you're an excessive pronator, in which case I would probably say get an orthotic if it's really bad. Otherwise, we can find a shoe that matches that kind of style, but in the end, it's got to feel right for you.
Yeah, 100%. So then, going into that conversation of orthotics, etc., is just like, it's a whole different ballgame altogether. You know what I mean? It's one that I don't like to get complicated on putting orthotics in, taking them out, etc. I think it just causes a lot of damage altogether. But it is essential for some people. I've got just a question here from someone. I run in solo boost, but I'm finding my feet hurting with all the HIIT sessions. What do you suggest for the HIIT one-on-one program type of training, which was our Jeff to get together? she's actually been looking. So it's a client of ours, Teddy Romberg. Sounds like an avid Adidas supporter. So I think you answered that earlier on. If you just want to go ahead with and just repeat that answer for us.
Sure. So the Solar Boost is a lovely running shoe. I actually run a lot. Most of my running is in the Solar Boost. But when it comes to hits, you're needing some support. I would say I actually had a look. In the ladies range is the Pure Boost trainer. It depends on sizing it, what's available. We're currently on sale. So if you go on there, you're just going to see a lot of products on sale. Pure Boost trainer is lovely. There's the Fit Bounce or the Fit Boost. I think the men's currently have the Fit Boost available. All lovely shoes. The Crazy Train used to be available. Edge Lux for the ladies, another one. Edge Lux is a great shoe where actually you might be able to get away with a little bit of running, a little bit of training. So those, have a look at a couple of those options. Pure Boost Trainer though is a lovely, comfortable shoe, and the Fit Boost that's come out is also brilliant for your hip class.
That Pure Boost, Jules trains it, and it's just like she almost looks effortless in it. It's an amazing shoe. Another question, which I think you guys, I'd like to answer this for you, and from my perception, because I get the question so much. I change shoes whenever I'm running road or trail. Could this have contributed to shin splints? Now, for me, the shin splint is not about the shoe. The shin splint is about weak major muscle groups, glutes, hamstrings, adductor, that aren't able to obviously absorb that force of either the weight or ratio of your body weight. You know what I mean? So all it's going to do is going to put it into your ankles, into your shins, into your knees straight away. So for that, I wouldn't blame that on shoe whatsoever. I've never had that excuse. It's just like work on your glutes, work on your hamstrings, get those ratios right, adductor, and then that should take care of the shin split. But I'm sure that is like a question you guys get flooded with all the time.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. In fact, I might direct some queries to you in the future so you can also explain it. But just also to even support the other brands, people come and say, I've got shin splints with a shoe. I'm a biokineticist by trade, by profession. And I remember a guy had struggled with ITB for like 7 years. And he came in and I had a look. We ran on the treadmill, assessed him, and he was wearing New Balance. And I would love to have suggested some Addies. But I know it's not the shoe. That wasn't the shoe. I could look at his style. I looked at his boots. He was overstriding massively. We worked a bit on his stride, and that was it. And I gave him a call a bit later on, a few weeks and whatever, and he had done some more reading on stride, and he realized, he just said it was completely my style. So it's be careful. And this is, I'm glad you brought this up. I want to touch on a few things. So one is, and it's right in line with what you're talking about. The shoe is probably one of the least chances of actually adding to injury. So let's consider our posture. I sit most of the time at a desk, and I want you to think of somebody's body position. My hip flexors are completely contracted for how long? Well, they're shortened. You're sitting. Versus somebody standing, they're using their ankles for stabilities. They're using their glutes are engaged. Versus somebody sitting on their bum in a flexed position. And now you get up and you want to run. Think about when you see somebody who's really tired when they're running. Where do they break? They seem to break from the hips because the hip flexors are so shortened. Look at a pro runner. Look at some of the Kenyans. They break at the ankles. Their whole body leans forward. They have this beautiful center of gravity, and they open up. And so I would say exactly what you're saying. We need to strengthen and stretch those important muscles. I don't know if I had a look as maybe your Jeff Float class and some of those where they really loosen up one-on-one sessions, get you to activate the glutes, stretch out the hip flexors, work on proprioception of the ankles, because we're sitting all day. There's somebody like you who's on your feet. You have strong ankles. So yes, to touch on that answer, you're 100%. It's probably not the shoes. It's more the surfaces. So remember, a road has a camber. You may be running on the one side of the camber the whole time, and your one foot is really dropping in, causing that excessive rotation, and then different surfaces are causing different muscles to fire. So it's more the surface than probably the shoes, regardless of what brand you're running in.
It's just I love answering these questions. I could go on for ages, and it really supports what we're trying to do with maintaining a system, focusing on a certain range, focusing on certain aspects of training, which are so important that you have to keep on nailing, getting right, trusting a process, sticking to that system so you can really, really get that pure result and not have excuses like shin splints and all that sort of nonsense. You know what I mean? And that's why it's so informative for me. I think this, you know, the common trend of, I think, what we're hearing now is people's like, oh, I don't know what shoe to get. Now, you guys have come up with an interesting concept called the Rent to Boost, which you're offering to us. Do you want to just talk about it? You can see, obviously, in the link below, there's a link. We have a Rent to Boost here. It's an interesting concept. Tell us about what Adidas are doing. I think it's super interesting.
Sure, Jono. So we have a variety of footwear, and as I've said, it's important to know what feels best. And sometimes you're going to have a shoe that you didn't love. Other times you're going to recall, I had people saying, oh, I had this shoe that was my best shoe I ever used. And everyone responds differently to a different range. And so, I mean, we've got these lightweight shoes. You know, this is super like the Boston. We've got some beautiful shoes. We've got the Solar Boost mentioned earlier. We've launched a completely sustainable range. This incredible prime blue. Look at that, the Ultra Boost. So we've got such a variety, but how do you know where to start? And so what we want to do, we said, okay, we are going to give individual support through Rent to Boost. All you have to do is put in your name, put in your email address and your region. We are going to get a technical expert to deliver a pair of shoes to your house or agreed location for a week. You can use the shoe. Go for it. Run in the shoe. If it's a road shoe, so run on the road, don't go on the trails. Run in the shoe, see how you feel. It will be fabric sanitized, so we're using the correct sanitizer. Don't worry. Use the shoe for a week. We'll log a request to collect again. Give your feedback on collection. We'll give you support thereafter, so that if you liked it, we'll find the shoe wherever online store has it, and you can then order it if you want it. But there's no pressure. We'll then take it. It then goes into incubation, and then pre-treat it again before somebody else uses it. We've got quite a few available, but it is going to be limited to stock availability. So please go put in your details. We'll contact you by email and set up a drop, and so that you can start testing shoes before you buy them and actually use them for a period of time for peace of mind.
I've never heard of anything like this before. So for everyone in Jeff Together land, listen to this opportunity. Go to the link and register. They're going to come and drop shoes off at your house, and you're going to test them. Okay, you're going to test them and then give them back. It's ridiculous. Yeah. I've never heard of anything so incredible in my whole life. On top of this, we've got so if say Jono gets his pair of shoes, he likes his pair of shoes and he goes, okay, cool, I want to order a pair. We got a promo code for you guys as well, which is, as you can see on the screen, Ultra Boost Jeff 15%, where you're gonna get 15% off those shoes that you like after you test drove them. It's like take your car for a test drive. I've never heard of anything like that in my life. It's amazing.
Correct. Well, I'm glad you explained, Jono.
I think can we have some people comment on this in the stream? Let's see who's going to do this, guys.
I just must highlight on that Ultra Boost, we've done it just from this call. Whoever was on this call and has been looking at the Ultra Boost and loves the shoe, I hope you're going to use it for the right reasons. But we are offering that for a week, and also it's only on the full price items. And currently, Ultra Boost is full price. A lot of the other shoes are on sale, and so that's why we wanted to offer it. It's currently at full price during a sale, and we said, you know what, we want to align with Jeff and do the 15% off Ultra Boost, only on Ultra Boost, obviously, for the next week. So you have around 7 days to use the discount. Yeah.
That is incredible, guys.
Other ranges.
Take advantage, because the Ultra Boost is the best shoe you will ever run in, hands down. Hands down. Trust me with this. Okay. Even this 92 kilo ox feels faster than them, I promise you. So go and try them out. Take advantage of this. Go and rent your Rent to Boost. It is amazing. Even if you don't want to do it and you know exactly what you take advantage of this Ultra Boost 15%. It's for a week. Is that right, Jeff? Sorry if I got that right.
Correct. Sure I got it. Correct. Use it for a week and then we'll come and collect it.
Yeah. And make it happen, guys. What an incredible offer, guys. That is amazing. Exclusive to Jeff. Jeff Together members. It is absolutely insane. And that, for me, that's customer service like you can never warrant anywhere. You know, I've never heard of anything like that. So such an informative conversation, Jeff. Thanks so much. I'd love to do a follow-up on this if you guys don't mind, and just obviously just educate a little bit more. It's such a hot topic that people need to talk about, and people are just so uneducated in this, you know. And I think it's you know, for you having a background in biokinetics, you just understand it so much. It's so interesting to see someone who's involved in marketing but from a biokinetics background, so they totally understand all the questions that are obviously people get misled People don't understand sort of certain concepts of certain shoes. And it's just incredible forward thinking by Adidas to partner with us and offer this to our incredible members. Guys, get out there and just take advantage of this. Trust me, I'm going to take advantage of it. Everyone in this thread, take advantage of it. Tell your Jeff members who aren't watching to watch the thread and take advantage of this incredible opportunity. Jeff, thank you so much for your time. I think it was really good. I think we answered some really clear questions over there, and I want to see posts on our social media platform of all your Jeff, all your Adidas Ultra Boots that you're going to purchase on the 50% discount with your Jeff socks on. And let's create something in a week. Let's see how many pictures and how many boosts we can get out there in a week. I'm gonna post mine tonight. I can guarantee you that.
And the ones who rent, take up the option to rent as well. Let us know. I'd love to know what you think of it. It's according to availability, but I'd love to see what you think when you can get a chance to test.
Amazing. And get your feedback out. Put your feedback to our group. Adidas guys will have a look at it. They'll swarm around it. Jeff, if you don't know our community that well, I know you've been trying a few sessions, but our community tends to swarm around things. So I know they're going to take this advantage of this and just give some feedback. Go to the link, rent to boost, take it for a week, give feedback. If you want it, you're going to have that discount, which is amazing, 15% with that promo code. If you can just put that promo code up on the screen, Ultra Boost Jeff, 15%, incredible stuff. Thanks so much, Jeff. You're incredible. And thanks to the team, Roddy Fumadar, Kate Woods, Howie Khan, all the legends down there at Adidas. You guys have been incredible to us, and we'll keep smashing this brand. And I'm looking forward to doing incredible things together with you.
Okay. Cool, yeah, I'm looking forward to more. And if your group wants more, then let's do it. I'm keen.
Amazing. Thanks, Jeff. Awesome stuff. Have an awesome day.
John.
Good stuff. Guys, there's that promo code, Ultra Boost, 15%. Ultra Boost Jeff, 15%. Use it. But go on that link, Rent a Boost. It is such an incredible concept that they've launched out where you can test a set of boosts for a week and go, oh, I like these. I like how they feel. I'm going to go do a couple of Ks in them, send them back, completely sanitized, clean, everything. They'll send an expert out to you. They'll come and fetch them. They'll bring them to you, and then use that code and go and purchase. These shoes, guys, are investments. They're investments in it, and they're just dynamic and they're incredible. It's, I'm the biggest Adidas fan ever, but they've looked after me in a long time. But it's just because I just love their shoes, man, and they've served me so well. I hope that was informative. I hope you guys enjoyed that. It was really, really interesting. If you have any other questions, please direct it at us and we'll try and answer it for you. But use that promo code, Ultra Boost Jeff, 15%, and make it happen. What a cool concept. This is the value we're trying to bring you through Jeff Education, offering you these simple, effective things that people just need questions and answers for. What shoe should I be wearing? Should I be using this? Should I be using that? Super informative. Super incredible half an hour spent. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and give us some feedback, guys. Have an amazing day. Don't forget the cook along live this evening at 6:30 and your session at 5:30 with Turkey. It's going to be amazing. Have an amazing afternoon. Share this incredible deal with everyone. It's absolutely exceptional and really informative. Have an awesome day. Cheers.